welcome to Kingdom of Heaven Ministries International. We are back again with our daily devotionals today. Today's title is called Orpah. Okay, and today's devotional is an analysis of Orpah from the book of Ruth. Ever wondered what happened to Orpah, the other daughter-in-law of Naomi? I always did. After researching a little, Orpah was actually known as Harafu, the daughter of King Eglon of Moab. The literature says that Orpah returned to her father's house, and the king of Moab wanted to form an alliance with Gath. Therefore, he gave Orpah in marriage to the son of the king of Gath in Philistine. Rings a bell? Have you seen the word Gath and Philistine before? Goliath was a Philistine. There were still giants in the land during that time, but they were living in the coastal regions of Philistine and not in Moab itself. Orpah married one of the Philistine giants and had 4 sons, Ishbi-benob, Saph, Lemi, and Goliath. So she was actually the mother of Goliath. You see, the people that you associate with, your close circle actually influences you and your future. Again, 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verses 33 says, "Do not be deceived. Evil company corrupts good habits." What would have happened if Orpah had returned to Bethlehem with Naomi? I'm sure that her story would have been different. Perhaps she would have born a mighty warrior like King David, or Deborah the prophetess, that would have been the defender of Israel, and we would be reading about him or her now. But because of her decision to return and associate herself with her past, she became a wife of a giant and bore giant children. Ruth's descendant, King David, killed Goliath, and it was King David and his army that destroyed all of the giants in the land. He also sieged and conquered Jerusalem, which was under the terror of the Jebusites, also great men of stature, which is just another name for giants. He conquered Jerusalem and named it the City of David. Orpah was said to have been killed by one of King David's general, Abishai, when he went after Orpah's last son, Ishbi-benob. Orpah's life ended tragically, that we don't even talk about her. Furthermore, it is not even mentioned anywhere in the Bible what happened to her, unlike Ruth. Ruth's name was actually included in the genealogy of Jesus, together with a handful of other females, like Rahab and Tamar. The lesson to learn here is that we need to make God-centered decisions. We need to seek God's will in the decisions that we will be making, and not to rush into making decisions. I believe that if Orpah had stopped for a minute and asked the Lord what she should do, if she should follow Naomi or go back to her father, the Lord would have spoken to her to follow Naomi. But because she was still mindful of where she came from, she decided to go back. Secondly, we also need to ensure that we surround ourselves with godly counsels as well as godly believers. I say godly believers because there are believers who are still living in the world. Orpah went back to her land where Baal worship was rampant. She surrounded herself with ungodly heathens that gave her ungodly counsel, which led her to marry the prince of Philistine. Surely this is not God's will for Orpah, as God was against the Philistines. Lastly, we need to abide in the word and continue in it to renew our minds. Remember that we cannot do anything apart from Jesus. Have the word in your heart, because the word will guide you. Don't be like Orpah. Though she was married to Naomi's sons for 10 years, she did not change from within. She may have been following the rituals for the sake of her husband, but there wasn't any real transformation in her heart. She did not serve the Lord wholeheartedly. Let us put into practice the lesson that we have learned from Orpah. Above all, remember that the Lord has a perfect plan for us. It is our duty to find out what that plan is and to walk in it. I love what the late Derek Prince wrote about the 3 P's: perspective, purpose, and plan. So when we know what his perspective on things are, we will be able to see his purpose for us. This purpose will then lead us to seek out His plans for us. Hence, let us seek His perspective, purpose and plans for us today. Amen.